Nute Gunray is known for being a big part of the Clone Wars. Today, we will be looking at his whole life. Nute Gunray was born on Neimoidia, and like all Neimoidians, was brought up in a communal hive until the age of 7, at which point he and other grubs were deliberately forced to compete for limited supplies of food, a system designed to weed out the weak, while the most acquisitive thrived by hoarding more than they could eat. Of them, Gunray was the most successful. When he declared himself to Gunray in 33 BBY, Darth Sidious attributed Gunray's victorious desires and ambitions to conditions of his early life. The Naboo crisis arose as a result of the dispute between the Trade Federation and the Galactic Republic relating to the taxation of trade routes to eye-lying systems. Darth Sidious secretly Naboo Senator Palpatine. The Trade Federation decided to force a resolution to dispute by blockading the planet Naboo with a fleet of modified battleships, cutting off all the shipping to the planet. Gunray commanded the blockade itself from his flagship Sahaka, a droid control ship. In response to the Naboo crisis, Supreme Chancellor Finis Valorum dispatched 2 Jedi, the Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn and his Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi, to negotiate a peaceful resolution to the dispute. Viceroy Gunray allowed the Jedi ministaries to land their ship, Radiant 7, in the Sakaka hangar bay. After learning that the ministaries were Jedi, Gunray and the ship's captain, Delecta Define, panicked and contacted Darth Sidious via hologram. Sidious ordered Gunray to kill the 2 Jedi and to invade the planet Naboo, telling them that it would make it legal in the Galactic Senate. Under Gunray's orders, the ministry ship Radiant 7 was destroyed and poisonous gas was released in the reception room hosting the 2 Jedi. Gunray also dispatched a group of security battle droids to finish off the Jedi. However, the 2 Jedi managed to survive the attempted poisoning and quickly dispatched the battle droids. Shortly later, Gunray was contacted by the Naboo Queen Padme Amidala, who refused to sign a treaty with the Trade Federation. The 2 Jedi ministaries then attempted to breach the Sahaka command bridge, but were driven away by droidicars. Despite the threat posed by the Jedi, Gunray still proceeded with the invasion. C-9979 landing craft were used to land the Trade Federation's droid army on Naboo, and OOM command battle droid OOM-9 was ordered to look after the Jedi. The army then proceeded to capture the capital city of Theed and other major centers. The Trade Federation's army also successfully occupied Naboo with little resistance and managed to capture Queen Amidala and her encouragement. Following the occupation of Theed, Gunray visited the captured queen herself and retained his demand that she sign a treaty with the Federation. She refused, so she and the others were taken to the Camp 4. Gunray suffered a setback when the 2 Jedi and local Gungan guide, named after Jar Jar Binks, managed to free the Queen and her entourage and escaped off-world. Meanwhile, Viceroy Gunray and some settlement officers, Rundo Hako, presided over to the occupation of Naboo from Theed Royal Palace. Naboo's population was forced into camps where they would experience starvation and hardship. In Amidala's absence, Gunray assumed her throne and attempted to force Governor Sio Bibble to sign the treaty with the Trade Federation, and delighted in taunting a captive Biddle. But the governor refused to back down. In the Senate on Coruscant, the Trade Federation Senator Lot Dodd managed to block Queen Amidala and Senator Palpatine's efforts to request Republic intervention in Naboo. However, Queen Amidala, at the instigation of Palpatine, managed to overcome the Trade Federation by calling for a vote of no confidence against Chancellor Valorum. As the occupation deepened, the droid army began to move against the Gungans. Naboo's intentions with their civilization, who lived underwater in cities like Ottaganga, faced little resistance. The Trade Federation moved most of their fleets from Naboo, with the exception of droid control ship Vuntapala. The diminished Trade Federation naval presence enabled Queen Amidala, her entourage, and her Jedi allies, along with Binks, to land their starship on Naboo. Queen Amidala managed to rally the Naboo resistance and to forge an alliance with the Gungan leader Boss Regarnas. Seeking to drive out the Trade Federation, Amidala devised a three-pronged battle plan which involved the Grand Army of the Gungans marching on Theed to draw away the Droid army. Meanwhile, Naboo forces under Amidala and her Jedi allies would infiltrate Theed and capture Viceroy. Naboo forces would also capture the Hangar Bay at the Royal Palace and use their N-1 starfighters to destroy the droid control ship, controlling the droid army. In response to this renewed threat from Amidala and the Jedi, Darth Sidious dispatched his Sith apprentice Darth Maul to reinforce Viceroy Gunray. After receiving reports that the Gungan Grand Army was marching outside Theed, Gunray dismissed them as not very important and asked for Lord Sidious' permission to wipe them out. At Sidious' urging, Gunray sent the majority of his droid army to wipe out the Gungan forces. During the Battle of Naboo, Gunray believed himself to be away from the fighting within the Theed Royal Palace. With the bulk of the droid armies preoccupied with the Gungans, Queen Amidala and her Jedi allies were able to infiltrate the Royal Palace and secure the N-1 starfighters, which proceeded to launch a starfire strike on Bertanan Pala. While Master Qui-Gon and his Padawan Kenobi took on Darth Maul in a lightsaber duel, Queen Amidala's forces fought themselves to the Royal Palace. Gunray's droid cars managed to capture Queen Amidala and some of her party and brought them into the throne room, where Gunray got his demand that she would sign the treaty with the Trade Federation. However, the Queen-designed handmaid arrived in the throne room with reinforcements, confusing Gunray and his battle droids. The Naboo managed to disable Gunray's droids and take the Viceroy and Hako captive. Meanwhile, Kenobi managed to seemingly kill Darth Maul, but lost his Master Qui-Gon, who succumbed to injuries inflicted by Darth Maul. With the defeat of the Federation's droid army, Viceroy Gunray and Runo Haka were taken captive. They were transported to Coruscant to face trials for their crimes on Naboo. Over the next couple of years, he would go under many trials for his crimes on Naboo. He got fined a whole bunch, but was not served or needed to serve any time in prison. After he finally was done with all his trials, he still held a grudge against Amidala, which was now a senator in the Senate. 10 years after the Phantom Menace was the Attack of the Clones, where he would pay for a whole droid army and be present for the Battle of Geonosis, where he would now be on the Separatist Council. He would oversee the battle, and later escape after the battle was over. When the Clone Wars began, he tried to take over many planets for the Separatist cause. One of the planets in particular was Rhodia. He was captured while on the planet, and during interrogation he would not budge. Asajj Ventress rescued him. Later that year, he and Bane were trying to receive and get a holocron from a Jedi Master. They failed at this, however. During his last moments, he was sent to Mustafar because he thought that the Clone Wars was almost over. Anakin Skywalker, turning to the dark side, killed him and all the other Separatist leaders. Nute Gunray was a very successful person, but was always not the most likable person. He ended up dying in vain, though, because he was on the wrong side. Thank you for watching. Please put your suggestions in the comments of what character you would like to see next on our channel. Thank you.